Hey guys, it's Hunt for Games, and Final Fantasy XI is back. I mean, technically it never left, but as you're all probably aware, my little carbuncle-shaped puppy has been seriously restricting my gaming time, and Final Fantasy XI was the first to get hit. In fact, that's actually still going on, but I did manage to take some time to get in a short little side series about something that's pretty important to me, the artifact armor. I'll break it down into like 2 or 3 jobs of video for all the jobs leading up to the Wings of the Goddess editions. I might touch on the add-in new jobs, but they did the artifact armor totally differently, so it'll probably just be a brief mention. When Final Fantasy XI originally released, long before I got my hands on it, the level cap was only 50 and artifact armor wasn't even a thing. While the game had many recognizable and lovably nostalgic Final Fantasy classes, visually they didn't really evoke what everybody remembered from the earlier titles. Whether they had planned it from the get-go or not, I'll never know, but they solved this one once the cap was raised to level 60 by introducing the artifact armor. This is Final Fantasy XI's version of the classic gear that just screams Final Fantasy White Mage or Final Fantasy Paladin. Every job gets it, and it was always one of the more exciting moments in the game for me, completing a set, getting that first awesome piece that was uniquely awesome for your job. Up until that point, job-specific gear is kind of rare. There's the artifact weapon, which always kind of sucks. And then the occasional piece like the carbuncle's mitts, that usually are pretty amazing. So by the time artifact rolls around, you're like, holy crap, 5 pieces of gear that are unique to this job only, that's incredible. So let's kick it off with 2 of my favorites out of the original 6 jobs, the you're making a character option, Red Mage and Black Mage. Black Mage was my first job ever and one of my favorites at 75. I got Red Mage to at least 60 and had not one but 2 friends played at 75 forever, so I feel intimately familiar with the job. Each of these had some amazing looking and frankly really useful artifact gear. As with everything else in this game, difficulty of acquisition varied pretty heavily from job to job, depending on coffer locations and how hard the fights were involved in the quests. Both of these jobs got totally screwed on the coffer side, with Red Mage getting boned only slightly worse. So first off, Black Mage. Black Mage is one of the truly lucky jobs, as every piece of artifact gear is awesome for at least something, which definitely isn't always the case. The minus interruption rate in the boots is always useful in special cases, and the minus enmity is great on any piece. The pants will be your swap-in piece for drains and aspects for a long time. Body piece is one of the first to really get you started on improving your enfeebling magic, and you'll definitely appreciate when that Sleepka saves you and your party's life. The hat is obviously glorious, with +4 intelligence and enmity down, beating out all the other options until like 75, I think. And who even needs to explain why +15 elemental magic skill for Black Mage on the hands is just incredible. Like, what even is that? It was seriously a game changer as soon as you got it, right in there with the elemental staves that you got at 51. The gear was also just sweet looking, like you really felt like a Black Mage, you'd made it, and because Vivi was my favorite character in Final Fantasy IX, I was just so pumped to get that last piece. Unfortunately, working towards that is just miserable. There's a coffer in both Garledge Citadel and LDM Necropolis, considered to be 2 of the worst locations that you can have a coffer. There's basically no chance of you randomly having acquired a key at either place, because nobody went there. And the chests were both stuck behind doors and paths that you needed other people to help you get through. Oh, it was just the worst. I did both back before the days of Wings of the Goddess, so I couldn't even do the sneak back in time trick to get behind the Garland Citadel door and just wait by a few of these your coffer pops. So basically I just had to get a few friends to let me through the Garland Citadel door and just wait back there for days while I tried to find a coffer that was being hunted by others at the same time. I think I did end up getting this one in a few hours, but it's also dangerous back there. You have to be constantly on your guard with all the sound aggroing enemies and bombs and pots that can aggro the magic casting, so you gotta be careful about when you're casting. It's just miserable. LDM, there was one pop you could get to by yourself if you took a really long walk through Bucetine Glacier. That took about 4 days of just logging off and on in one location, never leaving the coffer spot, just hoping it would be there when I logged in. Ridiculous. I had to hope that people were going through the rest of the zone, getting the coffer to respawn it somewhere else, and that when I popped in, nobody had found it yet. And it worked. It really did take me 4 days, but I eventually did get it. Devoy was whatever. If you even made it that far, I mean, it's not that bad. There are a lot of ways you can get the coffer key, and the coffers were all over the place. Nothing like LDM and Garland Citadel. And the quest for the hat, I think, sent you behind the 3 mage door in the Horatoto ruins, which I have passed for, but I don't remember where I got it. Maybe from the Windurst missions? I'm not sure. But if you didn't have one, you needed a Black Mage, yourself obviously, White Mage, and a Red Mage to open the stupid door to even get back there. Ugh. But it all led up to Shantoto literally pulling the hat out of her back pocket and being like, this dirty old gross thing, you want it? Sure, take it. And it's amazing. Love that hat. The coffer hunts were always ridiculous too, because you probably had to get a group of people together if you didn't have a 75 job to even hunt the coffer keys. And for somebody else to be willing to help, chances are they had a friend that they were trying to get the key for, so all of a sudden you've got 6 people there, 3 of them need a coffer key, and you all leave when you get the coffer key. So everybody immediately sprints off to try and open a coffer. And you're competing against the friends you once helped. It was tough. It was a tough little section of the game, but it made it so worth it once you achieved it. And it was one of those things that when you're at 75, you're so excited that you could finally hunt the coffer keys yourself, because you're like, oh, I don't need to get a shitty party together for that anymore. I can just do it on my awesome 75 summer, and it's badass. So next up is Red Mage. And if you ever thought about leveling Red Mage, it was probably because of this sexy, sexy artifact gear. And of course, the pimp hat. Red Mage was the jack of all trades job, the sword fighting, shield wielding, black mage casting, enfeebling, healing, buffing master. That meant the artifact gear also was just all over the place, but luckily it was still incredible. The boots and gloves start off a little lackluster with some shield skill and parrying skill plus, but I mean both could be handy and fun for soloing, which every Red Mage will wind up doing eventually. But they weren't too useful in parties. But then we get to the pants with plus 10 healing and plus 15 enhancing magic skill with plus 3 mind to boot. Yum. And the body with its incredible plus 15 enfeebling magic skill for a job that's main focus was enfeebling. I mean, so great. And it looked so cool. You were like in a red cloth armor suit. You had lapels. But the ultimate winner was always the Warlock Chapeau, the pimp hat, a unique and awesome pointy design with the iconic feather poking out. It just looks alone made this one of the all-time favorite artifact pieces. But enhances fast cast, like, are you serious? No one even remembers the plus 10 elemental magic and plus 3 int on the hat, which are amazing stats in their own right, because you're so distracted by the enhances fast cast. Red Mage was the only job that got fast cast. It was already one of the coolest traits in the game, and this piece of gear made it even better. And of course, was Red Mage only. Now, later on, other jobs eventually, like Blue Mage, got fast cast through traits and other things, and fast cast kind of worked its way into everybody's lives. But for a while, it really was only Red Mage. It just helped to define the uniqueness and the overall allure of the job. Red Mage was super cool. Red Mage got pretty screwed with the acquisition though, probably worse than Black Mage. It also shared a trip to LDM and Garlich, which were awful for the same reasons as before, but on top of that, had the journey deep into Castle Astrosia. I don't remember exactly why Astrosia was so awful, besides all the dirty Yagudo all over the place, but I want to say it had something to do with like a locked door that you needed a key for, or this weird combination, the like levers thing. It might have been that door, and it like wouldn't stay open forever. Sometimes you had to get like a friend to open it, and you'd like hang out by the door, and it's like dangerous to run around through the place. Once you were back there, you had to stay back there risking life and limb until you found the chest, because if you didn't, you'd have to go through the same nonsense to get back in. It really was a pain. Point is, the artifact gear was a long, hard road totally separate from leveling that often required lots of help from others that would likely get them nothing in return. It's stuff like this that made the game so special and social, as well as difficult. Eventually, once you'd gotten your first 75, you could work on it yourself for many of the quests, and maybe go back and help some of the fresh level 50s that need it. I mean, who didn't like soloing Darkspark for some level fresh little newbie and be like, yeah, that's right. Did you see that bomb that could have killed you in one shot? I took it down. It was one of my favorite parts about Summoner. I'm like, I can totally solo Darkspark like easily on this job. That's awesome. Anyways, let me know what you think of the new series and stuff you hope to hear more about in future videos. Like the video if you ever died trying to open a coffer because you got aggro as you went uninvisible, and definitely subscribe if you're new. I've got plenty of videos coming each week, and I can't wait to see you guys back. So thanks for watching.